Hey everybody, how's it going? Doug Reynolds here, your Sacramento Area Realtor. Today I wanted to talk about how contingencies work. You're a buyer, you submit an offer, you go back and forth and you get an agreement, you get into contract, and you get into escrow with a seller. Well, your contingency period begins at that point in time. And there's three main contingencies that you really want to know about and be aware of. The first one is your inspection contingency, second is your appraisal contingency, and the third is your loan contingency. So in California, the standard contract has a 17-day contingency period. So when you get that offer accepted, the next day, that's day one, and it goes to 17 days for all of your contingencies. That's the standard California contract. It's negotiable. The time frames can be negotiated shorter or longer. Typically, if you have a regular sale, you go to 17 days. On bank-owned properties, they're more like 5 to 10 days is usually the contingency period. So one thing that's really important when you're a buyer is you want to make sure you're working with a really good loan officer, because you might have a real short window there to get your loan approved. So if you only have 10 days with your loan contingency, you need to make sure your lender is on top of it and that they've just got lots of control within their company. Usually direct lender is the best to go with. So let's talk about the inspection contingency. Once you get that offer accepted, you want to go ahead and get a home inspection order right away. If you're working with me, I've got a couple of different great home inspectors that I can recommend. Get it set up right away, and then we'll go have the home inspection done, and hopefully, the house is in good condition. There might be a couple of different things the home inspector points out, but then the buyer might say, okay, I'm happy with those things, that's fine. And then you obviously would proceed and you wouldn't need that contingency any longer. But if something does come up, say for example the heater's not working, the air conditioner's not working, there's plumbing, something like that, well, uh, you can then, as the buyer, you can either say, well, based on my inspection contingency, I want to cancel and I want to get my deposit check back, and cancel the deal and go find another property because you have that contingency in place. Or you can go to the seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, the air conditioning's not working. Can you agree to fix it or replace it or something like that? You have that time where you can negotiate, try and work something out. So that's how your inspection contingency works. Essentially, you find out what's wrong with the house, and then within that time period, decide if you need to back out and cancel, or if you're okay with proceeding, or if you work something out. So, second is appraisal. As soon as you get into contract and into escrow, your lender is going to order an appraisal. An appraiser is going to go out to the house, make sure that essentially the house is worth what you agreed on in price. If for some reason it comes in a little bit below where you agreed on in price, you have the right to then cancel. You can say, hey, canceling the deal because the house is not appraised. Or you can try and use that to negotiate with the seller and say, hey, seller, the value came in a little bit lower than what we agreed on, and get the seller to come down in price to where it appraised at. The lender is not going to be able to give a loan until you can get that value down or work out. There's a couple of different ways you can work something out to get it to that value, but that's the way the appraisal contingency works. The last thing is a loan contingency. Talked about, you need to make sure you have a really good loan officer. If you're looking to get pre-approved, get a hold of me. I can get you in touch with some great loan officers that really are on top of things and can move fast. In this market right now, lenders that drag their heels and go slow cause a lot of problems for buyers. That's the biggest issues right now, is lenders not being able to move their files quick enough. So when you get that offer accepted, you're going to turn in all of your paperwork, your W-2s, tax returns, your pay stubs, show them what assets you have, all that stuff to document for the lender. They're going to submit it to the underwriter. It's going to go through underwriting, and you're hopefully going to get approved for your loan. But if something comes up, maybe you lose your job or something, and during that time, and you're obviously not able to buy the loan if you lose your job, buy the house and get the loan if you lose your job, well, you've at least got that loan contingency there for those first 17 days. And you can say, well, based on my loan contingency, I can't get the loan. We have to cancel, get your deposit check back that way. So really, those are the three biggies. There are other contingencies. Those are the three real important ones you need to be aware of when you're looking to buy a home. And so I hope you understand kind of how those work. That's kind of it in a nutshell, but hope that makes sense. Feel free to go ahead and give me a call, shoot me an email if you want any more information about it. If you want to talk about the buying process, feel free to connect with me on Facebook or YouTube, Doug Reynolds Real Estate, or just Reynolds Real Estate on YouTube. And hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye.